Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, chapters 56 and 57. Going to, as I said last time, be doing this every Tuesday from now on, and I'm only going to do 2 chapters for right now. I might do a little bit longer videos in the future, but only 2 for right now because, you know, I'm a Tower of God guy. If you've been around the channel for a while, I have been covering Tower of God for years, and some of the chapters are pretty long. It takes me like 20-30 minutes to read some of them some weeks. And for Omniscient Reader, it's been taking me a good 15-20 minutes to get through these chapters, so even 2 is like a 30-40 minute video. That's why I'm only going to be sticking to 2 for right now, but I might go longer in the future, because I said it in yesterday's Kubera video, I don't want to be somebody who's like, I need to hit a certain amount this video, so I'm kind of rushing through. I want to take my time. I want to be able to really take in the story, to talk about this as I'm reading through it with all of you. So yeah, I guess because of that, that's like kind of one of the reasons I'm keeping it a little bit shorter, at least for right now, just because it allows me to really take my time and pay attention. I suppose last week we ended with a talking head, and I guess that's about it. So let's just get into reading chapter 56. We're starting off, an author. One of the few job classes that can use the Avatar skill, if he is indeed an author. The many miracles he performed make sense. Are you by any chance an author? Says Dokja. Okay, we're going chapter 12, first person main character POV, part 4. I actually was thinking that we might be getting a new chapter, but no, we're still on first person main character POV. We thought Changshin Station is the target, and we're back at Chungmuro now. Alright, I'm sure of it. What I'm seeing here is not the real him. It's just his avatar. An author? Do you mean the creator of the revelation? You got me. You're right. I was the one who wrote the revelation. Don't believe him. I do not believe him whatsoever. What? Thinks Dokja. What's he going on about? That's not at all what I meant. You wrote the revelation, he asks. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint skill activated. Yu Jung-hyuk is using the lie detection skill level 6. Okay, or using the skill, lie detection level 6. Yes, and I also am the only one who possesses the revelation. I knew he'd be using that skill. How is that so? Well, let's hear what you have to say. But what if for some reason he's confident enough to say all this because Yu Jung-hyuk's skill isn't going to work, or it's going to be deceived somehow? Yu Jung-hyuk has verified that the statement is true. And Doctor's like, okay, not the expected outcome here. What? He really has the file. He smiles. Is he really the author of TWSA? I still don't trust him. I still don't believe him. The sky was consumed by darkness, cast the giant. Okay, it doesn't matter what it's saying. There's no way this is true. What is this revelation that you speak of, to be exact? Let's calm down. I need more clues. Don't you know already, or don't you already know? An epic tale foretelling what's to come in the future. Yu Jung-hyuk has verified that the statement is partially true. Partially true, he thinks to himself. Now, it's my turn to ask you. How did you find out about my plan? Are you also a prophet? Oh? Didn't you say you wrote the revelation? And you don't know? Okay, so it's him asking. The head is asking if Dokja's a prophet. But the person who wrote it would know that the copy of it was sent to Dokja. So that should clue in that there's at least some lie to what this person is saying. It could be partially true, like maybe we're going to get into like alternate versions of people because of the different timelines and different regressions, and this could even potentially be an alternate version of whoever the one who wrote it is, who doesn't know everything, and that might explain the partially true part. It's no fun being an omnipotent creator. He's definitely not the author of TWSA. If he was indeed the author of TWSA, he would be able to recognize me, its only reader. Again, because like I said, he was sent it, so he would know that it was sent. But this is quite interesting. I thought that woman in Shodaemun Penitentiary would be the last disciple. I didn't know there was someone like you still around. Shildemon Penitentiary? I guess you don't know. Let's make a deal. Tell me who you are, and I'll give you some useful information. Well, I don't think you have any information that's useful to me. You must be on a high horse because you outsmarted me this time. But this isn't my real body. You were just lucky to... I know about the future, and Dokja cuts him off. What? Okay. This is a shock to him. And much more than you, at that. I should get to work, since Junghyuk is watching my every move. Yu Junghyuk has confirmed that you're telling the truth. And this is actually kind of cheating if it works this way, but kind of interesting how he could... Like, let's say he says, I know more than you. Does Yu Junghyuk's lie detector skill say that he's telling the truth because Dokja believes that he knows more than him, or can Dokja find out that does the skill just work truly objectively somehow? So Dokja can find out by reading what Yu Junghyuk is learning. He can just completely find out that he does know more than this person. That seems like it's probably not how it works, because that's a little bit more illogical that it would be so objective, but you get what I'm saying. Can he cheat the system like that? Nonsense. There's no way you can know more than I... Wait. Are you... Hold on. Could he be... that guy? To my knowledge, there are no text copies of TWSA because it's not popular enough. But if the person in front of me is indeed him, it makes perfect sense that he has the files, and also that he knows a lot about TWSA. Is it fun to plagiarize other people's works? And we see him react to it. What? I didn't know you'd be still doing this. A revelation. He seems agitated. It's definitely him. Why do you keep doing this? It still eats me up inside thinking about the things the real creator had to go through because of you. He's talking to a severed head? What are you... And all of Dokja's work, keeping this kind of a secret, is kind of being undone, because he's talking pretty candidly about some of this. I knew something was up. The information you had was kind of half-assed. Don't you think you've done enough, leeching off the success of others? The world has turned to ruins, and still you're doing this. And it's getting to him emotionally. Junghyuk, he calls out. Junghyuk, join me. As I already told you, I know the entire revelation. Only I can lead you to the end of the road you walk. Think about it. You can't beat the 46th scenario on your own. Whatever. I've heard that before, thinks Dokja. If you're planning to go up against the likes of Anna Croft or the Zarathustra, you'll have to join me, and we've heard, of course, obviously both of those before. I've never heard of this thing you call a revelation. It's like a prophecy. You'd know because you can see my attribute, right? I'm the last one left. Yu Junghyuk has activated the skill, Eye of the Sage, level 8. What's he checking now? Level 2 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint activated. You cannot use Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint level 2 due to fatigue. Damn it, not now. Kill him. You'd know already, but he's dangerous. Not only has he impersonated you, but he also botched the future events. Same goes for you. Who are you trying to blame? I'm different. Join me, Junghyuk. I will even sign a contract if you want me to. I will never betray you. One calls himself a prophet, and the other calls himself a revelator. Kill him. Kill him now. He steps on his head. What are you doing? If you really know the future, tell me this. What? Oh, is he going to say, will I kill him? Here's my question. Yep, exactly. Will I end up killing him here and now, or not? What the hell are you doing? And Viewpoint is getting righteously pissed. If you really know the future, you'd know what I'd do next. You sicko. There he goes again, thinks Dokja. Of course you'll kill him. That's what you're meant to do. Kill him, then... And he crushes his skull. He was all talk after all. What? Junghyuk chose to spare me. He glances over and turns his back on him again. Hey, where are you going? Wait, are you going to leave GK here? I'll change my plan now that the future has changed. Why don't we work together while we're at it? I can help you. I've paid back my debt. I'm not taking your flag as my last favor to you. You can't leave the station anyway unless I remove you from the group. Do you want to be punished? You're the leader of your group. You can use the punish skill on your group member. You can use the punish skill to either kill or punish a member of your choosing. Okay. So yeah, Dokja's just holding it over him. That's Dokja speaking. He's holding it over him that he can't leave without being punished. And then he threatens him, I know what you're planning to do. You're going toward Junggu. You're going to go towards Junggu and compete in the scenario. Your goal's to get the black flag by completing the King's Path, isn't it? I'll help. Maybe it'll be faster if I just took your flag now. I'd love to see you try. Which will be faster, your sword or my tongue? Would you like to use the skill, Punish, on the group member Yu Junghyuk? We have a standoff between the two of them. You don't need to go towards Junggu. Just go north. I'll help you take the Tyrant King's territory and his flag. I can do this alone. There's only 48 hours left until the scenario comes to an end. Do you think you can take over 20 stations and obtain a black flag during that time? Also, you have good reason to be heading up north, don't you? Don't tell me you're going to abandon your family this time. And he's shocked. Why you? Calm down. I'm trying to help, so don't get upset. I'm serious. It's every man for himself. What is it that you want from me? Is he going to be all right? I knew you'd come around. It's simple. I just want to know one thing. The man you squashed? What was his attribute called? One of them must have been the last renouncer. What's his other attribute? And then... Okay, we're cutting a little bit. So what exactly was he? And then Dokja's talking to these two now. Should I tell them or not? And why are they on their knees? I didn't even tell them to do that. I love that the one guy's still wearing all of the like chains and stuff. Do you know a novel called SSS Grade Infinite Regressor? Oh, I've read it before. It was even ranked number 1 once. Oh yeah, now that you mention it, I remember it. It was a mishmash of many different novels. How'd it end again? It was still a good read, though. If they read TWSA, they must know quite a lot about web novels. Back then, when TWSA was still being serialized, I came across the novel on the list of popular works. And we see psychopath regressor who's stuck in an infinite regression, transcendental beings called constellations who support humans, streaming system, a game of survival against the odds, SSS grade infinite regressor. The first disciple. Okay, the first disciple is the author of the novel, SSS grade infinite regressor. Okay, so the first disciple is the plagiarist. Obviously, we got that earlier. What? I know those elements were rather cliché, but from the finer details and how they were put together, I left a comment right away. And then, hasn't this plagiarized TWSA? And, had my inbox flooded with hate messages, the author of TWSA was happy that his novel got more views. And, I mean, it is... I know we're talking about webcomics rather than web novels, but I feel like the super overpowered main character just going around doing things is... I don't want to talk crap about series that I haven't read, because outside of what I'm reading here for the channel, I really haven't read much manhwa or webtoons, but the overpowered main character just doing things while being overpowered from the very beginning is kind of the tentpole of popular series, it feels like. That novel was plagiarized? That's right. He should have the original files for the novel he wrote, copying TWSA. Wow, come to think of it, they were quite similar. It was because he copied TWSA that he partially knew what events would unfold. Then doesn't that mean it would be impossible for us to beat him if he plagiarized TWSA to the end? But he didn't. He only plagiarized the beginning so that he could deny it later when someone accused him of doing so. So he should run out of intel as time passes, And how do you know that, sir? Because I was the only reader after episode 100, he thinks. I just do. But first there's something I need you to do for me. You told me earlier that the Revelators were defeated by the Tyrant King. And we see the rest of the group. Yes, it feels so weird. We haven't really focused on, like, Sangha or Gil Young in forever. Yes, when we tried to take over Changxin Station, a few of them should still be giving him information as prisoners. Is that so? Great. There's 48 hours left until the scenario ends. I wouldn't be able to defeat the Tyrant King in that time if I took him head on. We're going to spread false intel to confuse them. We'll give them a part of the revelation. What? But how? Starting now. We'll make text copies of SSS grade Infinite Regressor and spread it. So they're all getting the wrong prophecy, the wrong revelation. And then we get our recap at the end of the chapter. That felt like a long one. Or maybe rather than long, it's more proper to say a dense one. Very thick with dialogue, very thick with information. Very, very good as always. I like the story and the characters. It's something that I've been saying about Omniscient Reader from the beginning, is that when you first read, it's like, okay, there's a lot being thrown at the wall. Then you read some more chapters, there's more being thrown, and they just keep throwing more at the wall. There's so much being thrown at the wall. But then, as you read more and more, though it takes a little bit, it seems like every time you read, it just gets better. Every time you read, all these things that they've thrown out there fall more and more into their proper place, whether it's the characters being more developed and being more important, other than Dokja's always been developed, Dokja's always been important, but the characters surrounding him being more developed, being more important as we go along. The world that it's set in, all of the different concepts they're bringing in becoming more, integrated. Like, all of these things that are, like, spread apart that have been thrown at the wall are just coalescing each time you read, and it's, like, really, really good. And even now, it's kind of like they're throwing more at a wall, but, because it's like you've got the regressor stuff, which is its own thing, the surviving the apocalypse, the idea that Dokja's the omniscient reader, the idea of other people reading, the game itself at a basic level, the idea of the constellations and the streaming system, and now the idea that somebody also wrote a plagiarized story that was similar to the intro bits of this. There's just so much in that sense that each of these, I've said it before, each of these individual things, you could write a story with that as your, like, main hook. You could write a story with that as your main premise, and that would be fine. That's all you need. That would be it. But it feels like Omniscient Reader just does all of these things. It's like the person who wrote it was like, I have a lot of ideas, and instead of writing a bunch of different stories, I'm just going to write one story, and I'm going to find a way to merge all of these ideas for said story. But either way, I want to read another chapter. I don't want to leave you on just one. So let's go to chapter 57. Alright, to continue on into chapter 57, we're starting off with this shot of Chungmuro. Starting now, we'll make text copies of, I'm just going to say SGIR, the Esker, the Skur, and spread it. And we'll make it look as if it's a part of the revelation that the prophets had. Sorry, my nose itches, sorry. Hildu, lend me your laptop. But we don't remember what happens in the novel. How will we make the text copy? Why would we need to remember a plagiarized novel? We know the original story. Be careful what that thing, you punk. Oh, they realize the plan is simple. The people who plan their moves according to the earlier chapters of TWSA are the fake author who plagiarized TWSA, and the person who's exploiting the prophets for their revelation, the Tyrant King, the one who wants to monopolize the intel, and the one who wants to learn more. I'll pit those two against each other. I'll give you all the information you need. I'll elaborate on the novel's earlier plot and add some information about some items. Sorry, I just kind of got distracted by this idea that I'm like, so it just so happens that all the people who read this story, and including the person who plagiarized this story, isn't some, like, crusty, terminally online person, but like they're all handsome. Like, I'm just like, everybody's good looking. All of these people that read the story apparently, and all of the people who, again, including the plagiarized one, just all happen to be like super good looking apparently. But either way, I'll pit those two against each other. I'll give you all the information you need. I'll elaborate on the novel's earlier plot and add some information about some items. Items that could lure the... I'm sorry. I feel horrible. I still don't have their names down for some reason. I feel like I was closer to remembering the two of Minsob and... don't remember. I was closer to remembering their names last read through than I am this read through, but I couldn't keep a straight face with the guy on the left standing so, prepared, so seriously, while still not wearing any pants. The items that could lure the fake author and the tyrant king. Now we have Omniscient Reader, Chapter 13. Okay, we're starting the new one now. Chapter 13, War of Kings Part 1. And we're still at the same place. It's nice that they give us the map every time. Now they're typing away. I never knew writing could be this hard. I've nothing but respect for authors now. A writer's block. You don't need to try too hard. It's not like we're actually writing a novel. All we need is to add the information that can lure them out. And we'll change the characters around a bit. There's something that concerns me. It would be more than enough to shock people like Hyun Sung or Ji Hye. Oh, right. I'm assuming it's the fact that, Hyun Sung and Ji Hye exist in the novel. So if they were to see themselves written in to this fake revelation, or like exposed by any of the revelators or anything, it would be almost mind-shattering to learn that in a sense that there's this weird like meta thing going on where they were characters, but they are people. So it's confusing. It's like a chicken and egg situation with them, but it would be very hard to wrap your head around if you were them. They'll find out sooner or later that this world is part of a novel, but it doesn't have to be now. About that, I don't think you need to worry about it. What? Well, Sungguk... Okay, name. There we go. Sungguk and Minsob. Sungguk and I have been testing the waters, telling different people that this world's part of a novel. They don't seem to be able to understand what we mean. They don't seem to be able to understand what we mean is if they're NPCs in some video game. Oh, this is so crazy. So, again, it's a chicken and egg situation. Did people like Yoo Jung-hyuk exist? Because that's something that I brought up when we were first introduced to Yoo Jung-hyuk. Because Dokja knew him as a character in the story, but he was also supposed to be a famous pro gamer, and it just makes me think if Dokja was so obsessed with this story, then wouldn't Dokja know that there was a real pro gamer, Yoo Jung-hyuk? And the fact that he doesn't is like, did Yoo Jung-hyuk just kind of spawn into reality in this third regression? And the same, I guess, now goes for, were Hyun Sung and Ji Hye real people before this? Were any of them real people before this? Because even the others were ones that Dokja recognized dying, right? So it almost makes it feel like, were some of these people spawned in like NPCs? That's crazy. Haha, enough with the tomfoolery. Let's get going. They just think we're joking no matter how serious we are. And is it like the people who've read get it, but the people who haven't read are like NPCs? But then, because this is happening all over the world to so many people, that still doesn't all line up. There's like some like crazy, again, meta, mind-bending, Shin Megami Tensei / Persona-esque stuff going on in this world. This is quite unexpected. That's how the first disciple was able to see if someone was a prophet or not, and that's probably why they call it a revelation. Okay, so you could test somebody by seeing if they react like an NPC or if they understand. That is it. Like, again, this story is just getting so much deeper. Like, we already kind of knew the ingredients to this, but this is, like, so interesting. It just leaves you with so much to think about. Like, what if you were in this world? What if things worked out like this for you? It's just, so much to think about. What do you think is the difference between the characters and us? We're real people, and they're just fictional characters from a novel. And this, again, gets deeper into what I've said about Dokja from the beginning, is take somebody like, let's use Jihei as an example, since we know Jihei was in the novel. Is it going to be hard for Dokja to see somebody like that as a person, or is he going to just see them as some meaningless NPC character from a novel? Because now we have, what was his name, Sunguk, saying it. Where it's like, you know, how do you explain it? And like, well, they must just be fictional characters. And then Dokja, then when did the real world end and the world of the novel begin? Well, since the start of the first scenario, perhaps? Then are they? And again, it just asks, it like brings in so many questions. Then if these characters just spawned in, or if the world itself changed, like what was Hyunsung doing? We know he was in the military, but is that just some made up backstory for a character that just spawned in when the world changed? Or was he actually a full person doing things leading up to this? And again, if this is all the case, how do you explain Yoo Jung-hyuk's first two, since this is his third regression, is this his fourth time through? I always just assume third regression is his third time through, but maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe it is his fourth time through. But I was going to say, how do you explain the previous regressions of Yoo Jung-hyuk that Dokja wasn't there for? If he wasn't the omniscient reader, if he wasn't the observer to be there for those happening, then, because again, if he's starting at the beginning of the novel, then it's like, did the novel start on Yoo Jung-hyuk's first regression and we just kind of skipped over those two for Dokja's own experience here? Gosh, or did the actual TWSA start on his third regression? Yeah. It's like, again, very chicken and egg. Then are they real people or just characters? And he, like, Dokja's legitimately asking himself now. We have Jungmin Sub, age 25, all this other stuff. Oh, and that's true. So they say that they're real people. That's great. Even talking about those two, I think he's probably referring to the others, but even referring to these two, it's like, well, if the others are possibly not real, are these two real? Or is Dokja the only real one as the observer? It's almost like an Einstein theory of relativity thing where everything depends on the observer. It's like, are these people real? Or is it just Dokja? Is Dokja the only person, essentially? Because if everything else is a story, these two could have been put into the story as people who have read the fictional story within the story of TWSA. Much like, again, I am reading Omniscient Reader, and TWSA is a fictional story within Omniscient Reader. Man. This is, again, getting into some really philosophical ground here. Since the recent update, I was able to browse their character information. If all the people turn into characters with the passing of time... Right! Because he couldn't look before because they weren't characters, but now we can see, which is another reason for him to question himself, is if people died before, they weren't characters in the book because they were dead. But now somebody like Gil-young, who he's looking at, or like Sang-ah, who survived this time, does surviving turn them from real people into characters in the story because they weren't characters before, but they are characters now? Personal skill character profile activated. What is it, Dokja? And exactly, he's looking at those two because they were the ones who weren't actually characters in the story before. Okay. Character doesn't have a registered character profile. Collecting information. And he sighs. So this is crazy. So they still aren't considered characters, but Min Sub is considered a character. He's somebody who's read. Then again, I guess, yeah, that's so crazy. So he can see their information, but he still can't see Gil Young's, I think, specifically. I think Sangaz he can't see because of her, one of her abilities or her constellation or something like that. But yeah, so it seems like Gil Young at least is still a person. But these two aren't people anymore. They're NPCs now. It's so crazy. It's nothing. I got it, sir. Take a look and see how you like it. And again, that's a very dangerous way to start categorizing people. It's very dangerous to just start being, hey, you got a character profile, so no more human rights for you, buddy. It's good. It wouldn't have lasted long if it was serialized, but that doesn't matter right now. That's so harsh. Now let's spread the rumor that the revelation's been leaked. Do you think there's enough time? I'll ask Dong-hoon for help. It's been forever since we've seen him, and I'm not sure if it should be Dong-hoon or Dong-hoon, because, again, the romanization of Korean words is extremely non-standard. It won't take too long if we use his basement dweller attribute. But what about the stations that don't have an internet connection? I have someone perfect for the job. Leave it to me. I'm the man for the job when it comes to rumors. And we have Kang Il-hoon, easygoing gossiper. Is it bad that he has insight and stuff? Kang Il-hoon. He was... Okay, never mind. He's the one who took them to... Who took Dokja and them to the others, right? When they first tried to attack. And then he took Dokja to meet with Sunguk, right? Okay, I think I might remember him. I was just going to say, is it bad that I don't really remember this guy? But I think I do. I think I got it there. This character, Kang Il-hoon, is subservient to your will. That or he worked for Pildu and I forgot about him. Either I was right the first time or he worked for Pildu and I forgot about him. One of the two. Your understanding of the character is increased. Okay. Got it. Our mission won't be easy. If we don't take over Changshin Station within the next 40 hours, our group will perish. Nothing's ever been easy for us. Who are we up against now? Someone called the Tyrant King. He's one of the 7 kings of Seoul. He has the largest territory in the northern Seoul area. They say he takes any beautiful men and women as his concubines, while killing or making slaves of all the ugly people. I mean, he's going to have very few of those, apparently. Or maybe that's where all the ugly people went. Omniscient Reader. Maybe that's what happened to him. I guess you might end up a slave, Dokja. Or the same could be said about you, Hwon. I wouldn't want to be a concubine. What if we just go kill him? It'll be hard since he has a powerful supporting constellation. What's wrong with her? We have 2 options. Okay, we're seeing Dobong highlighted. We either take his flag, or we can take over Dobong Station as headquarters. But we'll head towards Gwanghwa Moon first. But why? I thought we were fighting them. They'll come to us. I've leaked some intel that might be of interest to them. Honestly, I just thought to myself with some of these names that it might be easier for me even if they had the Hangul included, because that might even help me read some of these or know how they should be pronounced. We'll leave it later, since I can read some Hangul. Well, I can read Hangul, I just don't know Korean, so I don't know what it's saying, but I know how to read it in the sense of knowing the sounds that the characters make. We'll leave later, since it will take some time for them to arrive. So we should get ready. And another screen pops up. The item you've listed in the auction's been sold. The item you've listed in the auction's been sold. Okay, 3 times. Actually more than 3, multiple times. What is it? Looks like things are happening much faster than I expected. And now we see Dong-hoon-san. I've spread rumors that the revelation can be bought through the auction house. Thank you, Dong-hoon. Don't worry about it. I'm just repaying you for helping me. The character Han Dong-hoon is beginning to trust you. I thought it said Kang Dong-hoon earlier. Or am I just misremembering? Of course, I didn't spread the text files for free. Do you have the con man attribute? How are the constellations reacting? Oh, that's, why was I reading that as if it was Tokja? Do you have the con man attribute? It was, Be Young. How are the constellations reacting? They're really excited. The chat filters have been partially lifted as well. If I had spread the files indiscriminately, it might have fallen into the wrong hands, and people might not have believed it to be the real revelation if it was available for free. That's why I chose to sell the revelation through the auction house. Smart, true. There are even incarnations who gifted their constellations the file, but wouldn't it make things difficult for you if you spread intel that only you know about? No, it won't. Just give me my earnings. I knew everyone who needed this would willingly buy it, since everyone who needs this information would already have a supporting constellation. You've sold 16 copies of Revelation Esker through the auction house. You've received 16,000 coins. It sold better than I expected. Well then, I'm going to get some shut-eye. What? Aren't you a bit too laid back? Also, there's a bunch of dead bodies. There's gotta be some clothes you can loot and give Huiwon her cloak back. Alright. A good nap is more important than you think. What's wrong with him? He lays down right there. Okay. Level 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint activated. So far, I figured out that Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint's divided into 3 levels. Level 1, I can read the character's basic feelings and desires. He hasn't really used that one that much since the beginning, to be honest. I thought that would be more integral, TBH. Level 2, I can read the character's thoughts. And level 3, I can enter the character's bodies and experience what they're experiencing. Are you there, sir? Okay. So is he entering a character now? Okay. I've spread the rumors to the Tyrant King. Damn it, is he even listening? There are 2 conditions to activate level 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. 1, my consciousness has to be faint and unstable. They'll be making a move soon. Another is that both the character and I, you're listening, right, have to be thinking about each other. Okay. They'll be making a move soon, you're listening, right. Hold on, let me go back up. Spread rumors to the Tyrant King. Okay, hold on. I need to keep reading. I'm a little teeny bit confused, but... So that's the Tyrant King. So he's gone to the Tyrant King. And the revelation? It seems to be legit. I paid a good amount of coins for the intel. Who was it that made the copies available? It was probably one of the disciples. How reliable is it? We've checked the hidden pieces mentioned in the revelation, and they all seem to check out. He crushes what he was eating. Let's go to Gwanghwamun. We will take over the station before anyone else. Alright, I really love his design. This is maybe my favorite design so far. Good, the Tyrant King's on the move. Now, for the other fake author. Mean sub, he starts thinking, mean sub. Sir, they've arrived, sir, and this is neat. We're seeing the outside. I think this is really cool. I love when we get these like post-apocalyptic, like urban city shots. I wish we spent more time in here, because it does feel like 99% of the series has been spent in the same looking subway tunnels. So I like when we get to the outside, or when we get to like the top of the movie place and we can see the city sprawling out and everything, or even in the movie place when we got to see some of the like changes of scenery there. I like getting the changes of scenery because it feels like we have spent a lot of time in subway tunnels. Alright, now we sing from Minsub's perspective. Seeing how he's wearing that black hoodie, I'm sure it's him. He got there first as I expected. It's him, the fake author. The most important hidden piece for the third regression is in Gwanghwamun. he has himself cornered, so he can't help but get there in a hurry. But there seems to be more. The kings from Yong, okay, Yong Yongdungpo. And see, that's weird because usually EU is kind of silent in Korean, so Yongdungpo is kind of a weird one. Unless it's supposed to be Yongdaeungpo, and it's like the A and U are two separate characters. But I don't know. Again, non-standard romanization. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. Yongsan, and even Songdonggu seem to be here. We might have our hands full. Okay, so like, this is so cool. We are building some stuff. Level 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint deactivated. And he looks shocked. I'm aching all over. Level 3's way too tiring. I can't use it for that long. And there were no bonus skill gains this time. Maybe that only happens when I enter the first-person main character, POV. I still don't get how it works. Oh, you're up. You were talking in your sleep, says Suiwon. What did I say? I think you said, Mommy. What, Mommy? Well, I guess I am worried about my mom. I can't tell if she's joking or not, he thinks. Suiwon, I have a favor to ask you. What is it? I don't want you fighting in the battle at Gwanghwamun. Man, this is a really cool panel of her. She's so pretty. And then we end. Okay. Very, very incredibly, extremely good chapter. This was probably my most discussion-heavy chapter ever since starting the series. There was a lot to talk about there at the beginning. So deep into the philosophical nature of the stuff that Dokja's going through. And in addition to that, then we get towards the end, and I'm very hyped for the Tyrant King. He looks really cool. Very hyped for the Plagiarist, because he also is kind of neat. I'm interested in the role he's going to play and everything. Of course, we're going to have our main character group. We have all of these other stations seemingly coalescing a bit. We might get to kind of drift above ground a little bit, which might be neat. So yeah, incredibly cool, incredibly good. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to end it here just because I already have talked about this a lot. It is like midnight currently. And yeah, I need to get this posted for you all. So it's going to technically, for some of you, not be on Tuesday any longer. But still, thank you so much for watching. Like if you like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Omniscient Reader, much more on the channel. Like I said, every week now I'm going to be doing this on Tuesdays, even if it's a little late at night like tonight. Like, comment, subscribe for more Omniscient Reader, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you're a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. We can talk there. Just ask and I can give you a link. If you'd like to help support the channel, to help me to continue to make videos, then I guess you could drop a super thanks down below if you want to, or if you want a shout out at the end of every video on top of the knowledge that you are helping me to continue to make videos, and also get One Piece videos a little bit early, you can hit join down below to become a channel member, or you could go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description, to become a patron. Patrons and members have a lot of different tiers you can join at, depending on how much you feel like supporting with. But thank you to people who are already patrons and members. Thank you so much to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, to Magical Girls Efrononu and Smeller Dog, to Cherryton student David Langstaff, to Slayer candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and to Pure Element Pati Ardialo. This was one of my favorite. I say it every time. I think every new read-through of Omniscient Reader is the new best one. This is one of my favorite ones I've done. Probably my favorite one I've done so far. It just keeps getting better. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.